Hello and welcome to a special edition of the PC Perspective Podcast. We're missing some people, but we're doing it anyway. We're doing it live.
I wouldn't really say we're missing them.
Yeah.
All right.
Bit of a stretch,
podcast
but-
panelists, please introduce yourselves.
Jeremy Hellstrom here.
Josh Walref.
And I'm Sebastian Peak. And
No one
Brent
else.
and Kent cannot be here tonight. So we are just a trio, the Three Musketeers.
You know what they say? When the cat's away, the mice come out and play. I'm not sure who the cat is.
I'm waiting for the mice to show up.
Yeah,
I feel like Brett would be the cat, but I don't know. Kent gives a bit of a cat vibe. Kent cat.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of lays around, he looks at you funny, and then he licks his balls.
We've seen it. We've all seen it. We all see the
I know.
podcast that you do.
Our Patreons know what we speak of.
It's the behind the scenes. By the way, live feed at Kent's house right now. There's nothing there. Put the lens cap back on the camera. Sorry, guys. False alarm. Okay. So this will be a weird show. It'll be even weirder live. The edited version will be 17 minutes long.
Hopefully.
If that. We would like to remind you at this point that we have a Patreon account. So go to patreon.com/PCPer and put your name here. Seriously. You could name yourself your name here, and it will look like I just put a placeholder there, but it really is the name that you put in.
I mean, it is up to you to help support my Coca-Cola habit.
Yes. Hey, and another habit that Josh has, eating.
Oh.
Would you like to report on your culinary
adventures?
escapades?
Yeah, well, there was a new gal at Born in the Barn, and I placed my order, the naughty, of course, because they didn't have a burger special. It was like a wing special, and I didn't want wings. I wanted a burger, damn it. So I got the naughty. I made the order, and I'm just sitting there and waiting, and she comes out with just the burger stacked on top of the carton of fries, and she's like, "Do you have an order to go?" I was like, "Well, yes." And she like reaches out, and I look at it, and she's like, "Well, do you want a bag?" I was like, "Sure." And then she turns, and the burger didn't turn with her, and the burger fell to the ground. And there we both were, looking at the burger, laying on the ground. And it just had this sad, defeated look, because it hasn't been a great week. It hasn't been a great couple of weeks. And I thought, it's like the Gary Lyerson thing. The worms, they're eating the dirt. And how much worse can it get? There's a hair in my dirt. I'm a worm. And so, yeah, there's my burger laying on the ground, but at least it was wrapped. And she's like, "Well, do you still want the burger?" Yes.
You're like,
Yes,
"You're damn right, I want that burger."
Just give me the burger. And she put it in a bag, and we got sent on our merry way. And this is the burger post trauma. It was a little bit.
She couldn't hurt it anymore. You saved it.
Yeah, I mean, the cheese kind of got a little. Hey, look at that resolution. I'll tell you, cell phones have really helped my photography. Used to not be this way. No, it used to be blurry messes, 20K JPEG pictures. 600 pixels wide if you're lucky. But no. The naughty really came through for me, though. I mean, it was an excellent combination of American cheese, chipotle ketchup. They put a lot of really good fresh jalapenos that had a nice bit of spice to them. And then the bacon. The bacon was perfectly done. Not like overdone, like what you get with Burger King, where they overdo the bacon and then they let it sit around, then they put it on the burger and it's like rubber. No, this was crispy. It was outstanding. So, and the fries were good. They're nice, crispy, crunchy, maybe a little overdone, but I prefer overdone than, underdone. Weren't soggy at all. And a reasonable amount of seasoning on it, not over seasoned, not under. So even though it, had a traumatic beginning, my burger of the day was pretty pleasant. And then I got fired from my job.
So patreon.com/PCPer.
Yeah.
Support Josh.
Help support me.
It's
Bad. Okay, I didn't get fired.
So Josh, AMD had a financial analyst day.
Yes.
Yesterday.
All their troubles seemed so far away. It really did. I mean, there was a lot of people that went and talked, including Dr. Lisa Su. They went over a lot of stuff. And the long and short of it is AMD has experienced a lot of growth. And they are continuing to experience a lot of growth. And they will, in the future, make even more money and experience more growth. Because the environment we live in requires so much compute that they're buying up everything that they can fab. It's like 2003 again, where every chip that they made was bought. 2003, 2004, with the introduction of the AMD Athlon 64. Everything it could produce got sold. And they're back in that groove. Everything that they're producing is getting sold. They have made impressive shares in the x86 server market. I mean, if you look at the total market overall, there's ARM, there's AMD, and then there's Intel. Overall, they have made advances, but it's not as big. Who has lost the most, obviously, is Intel, because ARM and their partners are growing that as well. AMD is growing. Intel is not. They're shrinking. AI, of course, is the big push, and they have multiple products all going there. And they then talked about future Ryzen and future RDNA. The biggest thing is with the Ryzen stuff, Zen 6, they are going the way that kind of ARM has been doing. So, ARM a few years ago, they released their first NPUs. They didn't call them that. They're the Ethos products. They never took off in consumer, but they did take off in other things like, video and photography. And instead of integrating these NPUs into their core products, they expanded current products of CPUs and GPUs to support more data formats, more friendly towards AI type workloads. And they've done very well. And it looks like AMD is doing the same kind of thing with their CPUs and GPUs and making them more AI friendly. But that's not to say that they're not doing NPUs, because they do currently have an NPU with their Ryzen 8000 series of mobile chips, as well as their Strix, the AI 390, 395. But that's neither here nor there. Regardless, AI is the future, and I mean they're continuing the development of next generation GPUs. They're going to the CDNA, the compute DNA, and they're combining RDNA and CDNA. I can't remember what they're calling it because it's
AI.
Too many. Yeah, but anyway. No, but in the next couple of years, they foresee the market being, $500 billion being spent, and they obviously are not setting their sights on that entire $500 billion. But if they can grow 1 percentage point per year, that turns out to be just $10 billion per percentage point in the markets that they're chasing. And that's AI, that's servers, that's networking. I mean, they bought the networking group. They have Xilinx as well, and they're continuing to integrate that functionality into a wide variety of products. It's nothing but upside for AMD, according to them. And pretty much according to all the other analysts that have been looking at this, is that, yes, they've improved ROCm. They've got people like Stanford to start utilizing their hardware to teach students as well. So you can do CUDA, you can do ROCm. That's a big thing in the university level. They've got partnerships with AWS, Microsoft, all these other guys, OpenAI. It's just a absolute amazing amount of growth for the company. And even though they're going from 9.2 billion this quarter to probably 9.6 billion, as long as the bubble, and there's a lot of debate whether this is a bubble or not, and I've seen some really good arguments that it isn't, they're going to just continue to grow. And they are executing at a very, very steady rate. They have good partnerships with TSMC and their software guys for designs. They continue to hire people. They get people from Intel to come over and work for them. Yeah, things are coming out roses for AMD. And I think they're going to be much more competitive in the GPU space, not only just because of software, but if we look at the jump from the Radeon 7000 series to the 9000 series, it was a significant upgrade of capabilities and overall performance. And I think we could expect much the same from the next generation of parts. They're spending money on R&D that they haven't been able to do in years past. And yeah, their share price just keeps on going up. And there's a reason to, because they keep selling a lot of product and the market still seems strong. And of course, a bubble never pops until it does. But again, that's maybe a discussion for another day if we're actually in a bubble and to what extent. It's not 1998. It's a very different world. Some people are actually monetizing AI. OpenAI, maybe not so much, as they're, a big driver, but there are others. And
NVIDIA.
There are other work cases other than AI. Just... What's that?
Who?
I said NVIDIA is monetizing AI.
They certainly are.
I never heard of them.
They bet the farm on AI. Just so you know.
I'm also talking about, OpenAI's got the Sora AI out there that people make the 5-10 second, terrible videos that are now crushing Facebook. And I've got my wife coming up to me is like, look at this dog protecting this child from the earthquake. It's like, Tina, that's AI. This makes me so angry. It's like, well, yeah, but anyway. But yeah, the other companies are actually have products that utilize machine learning and AI to do actual work that people pay for. Data analysis, video, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, it's not just silly stuff on the internet or writing out your term paper. I mean,
most of it is. There's good stuff. And then there's the 98% that's absolute slop. Can we talk about hardware?
Please.
The leadership CPU core roadmap slide. Maybe you've seen this, but if you're just listening to the podcast, I will explain that currently they're on 4 nanometer and 3 nanometer. That's Zen 5, Zen 5C. They are moving to an industry first 2 nanometer to extend their leadership with Zen 6 and Zen 6C. With some, AI data type support and more AI pipelines. And then the last thing on this chart, future node, next gen, they don't say 1.3 nanometer, whatever. What is this? New matrix engine, AI data format expansion. They're talking about new instructions, full 512-bit AI vectors.
Well, okay. We can go back and talk a little bit more because, AVX, it was an extension of x86. Well, sort of, but anyway, it's 512-bit wide. Matricy calculations used to be done under x87, but it was painfully slow. But these things also can be extended to support fully. And the future is packed full of matrix multiplication. So yeah, getting these things. I mean, we've got NPUs that are already available with the mobile parts. Eventually, they will come to desktop, but also, a big chunk of that. I mean, where NVIDIA had it right with the first generation of RTX 2000 series, is they did matrix multiply natively, and it had a huge impact on not only neural nets and AI, but a bunch of other really heavy-duty scientific stuff. Just as an aside, I had a statistician who worked with me. He wanted me to redo a kernel on a machine so that he could get an extra 2.5% performance on matrix multiplications, because he had something that was going to take about 4 weeks to do. And that 2.5% turned out to be, a significant chunk of change. But we were able to guide him along and say, hey, we've got this workstation machine with an RTX 2000. It was a 2080 Ti. It's got native stuff. R supports this. CUDA supports this. Go do your matrix multiplication on this. And instead of 3 to 4 weeks, it took 2 days. And so there are workloads that these things have, and they are continually adding to x86. In fact, we could probably have an entire show going over what an impact AMD's x86-64 had on the marketplace when they introduced it in 2002. And Intel followed. And anyway, that's another discussion for another day. But yeah, this stuff is, I mean, our workloads are expanding into what they need, and people are adjusting software, and the hardware people are following suit and actually, providing users with stuff that they need. So yeah, more complex, interesting things that make multiple workloads faster in the next couple of years.
Somewhat related, we're talking about AMD Ryzen a little bit in there, perhaps. AMD Ryzen X3D, not that this will be a surprise to anybody in the DIY enthusiast space. The X3D CPUs outsold Intel's entire CPU lineup on Amazon last month. That momentum isn't going to slow down anytime soon. You don't build a system with an Intel Core Ultra. No,
Intel's got issues at the gaming PC and high-end desktop. And AMD is kicking it, which is, great to see. It is a more complex part. You do pay a little bit of a premium for them, but not that big of a premium versus the competing Intel part. But you get just so much more performance.
Do you know you do pay a premium for Intel's 14th gen parts, though? Those prices went up because nobody's buying Ultra. You can't even match the performance of a high-end 14th gen with current Intel gen. So it's just, this is so just bizarre. A lost generation. We need to move on. We're going to get another chipset. We're going to get another socket. And we're going to get, hopefully, some better performance next generation and at least catch up with 14th gen with better connectivity and more features, perhaps. I know they'll probably just AI everything, NPU performance, etc. But actual enthusiasts are not buying Core Ultra, I don't think.
No.
And the Amazon numbers are showing this.
Yeah, but the sad thing is for AMD is that retail is a very different animal than OEM sales. So,
sure. Yes.
Still the vast majority are the pre-builts and whatnots. So, one more thing. The 9700X is still a pretty good gaming CPU from AMD. That's what I'm using in my main machine. My main test machine's got the 9800 X3D, but I just don't notice the difference in the stuff that I've got, from here to there. It's just It's just when you start running the benchmarks and finding those sweet 1%, that X3D really makes a huge difference.
At lower resolutions, especially.
Yeah.
But a little bit, even at the high resolutions with the 1% for sure. Hey, by the way, here's something about NVIDIA. Softbank, they had $5.83 billion in NVIDIA. They have offloaded all of it. They've sold off all the stock, and they're going to use the money to fund a major investment in OpenAI.
No.
Well, they dumped almost twice
weird.
that in T-Mo shares, too. Just over $9 billion. So, yeah, they're going to buy a chunk of OpenAI.
So apparently SoftBank, some years back, before the really big jump for NVIDIA, sold off the majority of their shares at that point. And Jensen Huang was teasing the head of SoftBank. What's his name? Miyazaki?
Sounds right. Not 100%.
I'm not. The Miyazaki could be a artist. Anyway, he was teasing that you lost out on $178 billion with that sale. And so they're selling the rest of what they own for $5.83 billion. So, yes, timing is everything. But it's strange that they're investing it all in OpenAI, which means billions are going to AMD and NVIDIA directly.
Yes.
Which, for AMD and NVIDIA, that's a nice thing. I just don't get it.
We've been talking doom and gloom about NAND and DRAM. Guess what else is going to be in short supply? Hard drives.
No way.
AI data centers.
My Reds.
They need spinning Rust. And hard drives are on back order for 2 years. I don't know which hard drives. I should probably read the article. DigiTimes is reporting that storage is taking a hit. Delivery times for enterprise-grade hard drives delayed by 2 years. 24-month lead times. That is crazy. But I guess it's just following the trend. Got to build up those data
I have
centers.
noticed when I ordered some WD Red 12 terabytes that the prices were higher than what they were 2 months ago when I spec'd out a system for a client. That's a bummer. Yeah. But it's I think really the next 2 years is going to be, oh gosh, what's a good word for it that I'm looking for? The pronounced lead times of everything is going to be the news. We've got 5-year lead time on transformers. We got about 5-year lead time on generating turbine generators for any kind of high pressure steam, whether it be nuclear, coal, natural gas. Doesn't matter. It's a multiple year lead time. And people are talking about building all of these gigawatt data centers. And it's just, not only does it eat memory, it eats NAND, and now it eats spinning Rust hard drives. Never mind transmission lines, permits, turbines to power the power plants, and transformers to make the high voltage, low amp transmission. Is that correct? They're high voltage, low amp, so it doesn't melt the wires. And then transformers make it into, shorter
Usable
length, usable power. I wonder what else is going to get hit. Will GPUs get
copper?
hit again?
Yeah, Time Twin says copper. Yeah, they'll just be out of it.
The price on it's been going up steadily.
Masa-san, you're right. Thanks for some medium. Anyway, Masa is the SoftBank guy. If you ever want to read something interesting, read about his life and the choices he made in the 80s and 90s that have made him a billionaire. It's fascinating. But anyway, yeah, scarcity. This is. I mean, if it doesn't pop, we are going to be in a scarcity economy when it comes to AI, because they just can't produce enough. Can't produce enough wafers. You can't. Yeah, it's going to be weird being an enthusiast that wants to play games on the computer. But at least Valve has, an answer for that we can talk about later.
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't know, Nori, I'll try, but I'm not naturally attracted to crocodiles, so I think that's a major problem.
But you've got the mullet, and you've got the handlebar mustache, the biker. So you're halfway there to Florida man. You just need to go down to Florida and do some really crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And not throw it your back.
Or both.
Yeah.
Man throws out back while molesting alligator again.
It was not on should we wait for Gaming Quick Hits to talk about what should probably be the biggest story of the day? Or talk about the Steam Deck or the Steam
it's in either
machine
spot.
now?
Half-Life 3 is essentially confirmed.
No.
Maybe. Well, I guess we'll wait.
It's not again.
It's coming up. Stay tuned for Gaming Quick Hits because we'll talk about Steam's exciting announcement today. Real quick, let's get through a couple more news stories. There was one. This is weird, but hey, it's Microsoft and it's in beta, like their OS. They're testing mouse vibration feedback. You may know about Apple's haptic engine. They can have a trackpad that doesn't move, but it feels like it's moving under your finger, things like that. There is a option for haptic signals with a signal intensity slider in the Bluetooth and devices mouse section of the Windows settings panel. This is 26220.7070.
You got it.
And if you have that
MX Master 4, you might even be able to play with it.
Nice. Maybe. Yeah, you'll need a touchpad.
There's a mouse that is theoretically compatible.
But that'll be a thing. What if it is a thing?
Do you remember the mouse that was on a post? And you moved it around and it gave you the haptic feedback because it couldn't do haptic without that freaking post. So the amount you could move the mouse was small, but it had force feedback to it with this, haptic thing. It never sold worth a damn, but it was available. And I'm trying to remember the group that introduced it. It was like 2003. It's a long time ago. It was a
bunch of theremin enthusiasts, I think.
Probably.
But yeah, that was a dumb one that died the death it should. So, yeah,
but the group they licensed their software to other companies. And so you still see that logo now and then because of the haptic feedback stuff that they developed. I may remember it by the end, but probably not.
These were the days of the butt kicker chair and the headphones that also punched you in the head. It was haptic everything for a bit. It was unpleasant and didn't last. But there was a butt kicker chair. That was the name. And it may well have been the same company that created the software for the Theremin mouse.
Finally, in our news of the week, the RTX 50 Super launched. There were some rumors that had been canceled. It's been delayed. The current rumor is that it's not happening even in the first half of 2026. There's issues with, I think, GDDR7, specifically 3 gigabyte memory chips that are needed for the larger memory capacity of these super variants. Memory shortages, specs possibly changing. Who knows what's going to happen?
16 gig version would be the minimum that they could put out without causing a huge outcry.
Yeah.
If 16 they went for a 12 or an 8, people are not going to be happy.
If you've been waiting for...
Then good job. Keep up. Keep up the good job.
Just put the current gen on your Christmas list. If that's what you want, there won't be anything better for a while. Now, Jeremy, are you ready?
Or just ask for a down payment.
Oh, you know what? One more story. Let's throw this in there. I'm trying to honor Brett's list of stories because he put together quite a few show notes for us, even though he could not be present for this podcast recording due to an internet outage that he is suffering through right now at home. But Tom's guide has a story here. Google is cutting off support for first and second
generation Nests
thermostats. Yes, so you can still use them to turn your furnace on, like the old Honeywell. Just rotate that thing, but you won't be able to use the smart features because it's a IoT device and they die. Their support dies anyway, and then they're turned into bricks. Perhaps I don't know if they're bricking these. But yeah.
Oh, don't worry. They will eventually.
Yeah.
Because, one, Google loves canceling things. And two, yeah, it's IoT garbage that will die. Lifetime support means the lifetime of the product, not you. And those products die more frequently than goldfish.
And this depressing story is the perfect lead-in to our most depressing segment of the week.
Welcome to Insecurity Corner, your weekly reason to drink.
The first story, Microsoft fixes Windows 10 bug blocking extended security update enrollment.
Wow, that was kind of a selling point for keeping Windows 10, right?
Yeah. You could pay them to continue to
but you're not going to get support until we fix this bug. Oh, jeez.
And this is, of course, after having spammed them last week with a whole bunch of messages sent to these people who signed up for the ESU saying, you are no longer going to get coverage. Your coverage has expired. You need to upgrade to Windows 11. Oops, sorry, we didn't mean to. Oh, I guess it looks bad that we just broke the entire enrollment tool that lets you enroll a PC in it to be able to continue to get updates. And well, this is a minor problem here in North America where you did have to pay for this. In the EU, where they were forced to offer these to at least some of the customer base, all of a sudden now they're completely, totally failing this enrollment. And in order to get the extended security updates, and Microsoft offered the mea culpa. Sorry about that. We're going to try and fix it. If you do another update, assuming the update will actually run, because you might not have the extended service update installed that you need to install. It's a Microsoft thing, but there is a command to be able to enable it just automatically enroll via PowerShell. So there's been workarounds, but when you've hit the point where you're giving Microsoft $30 or more a month, this just does not look good. And hopefully you will believe your tech when he says or she says that, no, there's literally nothing I can do but yell at Microsoft. In fact, I am right now until you interrupted me, and now I have to tell the tech everything over again because they've got the attention span of a rabid gerbil. If you tell them something and let them think on it for 10 seconds or more, they will have forgotten you. You will have to tell them everything over again. It's just the way the game works. Because all they want is to close that ticket. So yeah, that's been a great joy, and it's getting to the point where it'd be funny if it wasn't just so damn frustrating.
It's going to affect my bonus this year. That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
Thanks, Microsoft. Appreciate it.
Same.
Next, Synology has fixed B Station 0 days demoed at Pwn to Own Ireland. I'm sure these companies love events like Pwn to Own because it puts them in the news. Stories like this.
If they had the right attitude toward it, they could use it as a tool to make their product better. But marketing executives rule these things. If you ask engineers who work at these companies, and of course, bad news is bad news. It's not like, if your name's in the news, then at least your name's in the news.
There is no bad publicity.
Yeah, exactly. In this case, instead of, utilizing this tool, make your product better, they actively try to shut stuff down. But go ahead.
Yeah, this is B-Link for the B-Station OS devices from Synology, which, it's a personal cloud for the home user. And so this was, stuff that is generally just being sold at a relatively lower price compared to other NAS devices, because the high-end NAS devices are really expensive, especially now that you can't get large-scale hard drives for them. And so these personal clouds, well, unfortunately, it allows some arbitrary code execution, and being a personal cloud, it generally is internet-facing and probably not particularly well secured. And so, oopsie, yeah, this is a major problem. Don't worry, there is no particular patch, but if you do upgrade the actual OS to 132, 65, 64, 8 or above, then you should be safe. But now we're talking about an entire OS upgrade, which on a NAS is always going to go perfectly smoothly and not lead to any data loss whatsoever. So yeah, go right ahead and do that if you believe me. Don't believe me. It's not going to be great. QNAP also got hit a bunch of nasty stuff, had nasty stuff.
For this next one, what is PHAAS? Is that
That's
phishing?
A fat ass.
Phishing as a service?
You are
Quantum?
correct, sir.
Okay.
That is
route redirect. I didn't know that phishing as a service was something that the industry...
it wasn't.
Okay.
Until the brand new Quantum Route Direct all-in-one Swiss Army knife phishing as a service you can sign up for. So even the least skilled person who wants to become a threat actor can actually pull off really, really well done phishing attacks with the help of this automated platform. It covers everything. Rerouting the traffic to make sure that the bots and everything else gets put somewhere normal and the users actually get sent off to where you want them to go, and will create malicious domains. You get like a bunch to choose from. You don't even have to set them up. They're ready for you. You will need database stuff to be able to track your victim once they've actually clicked through on that DocuSign request or launched that hey, I didn't realize we had a voicemail system. I better listen to it. It's probably really important. Or scan that QR code and been phished. Well, now you can even handily track them. This has just been spotted relatively recently by KnowBe4. They're spotting over 1,000 of these domains, which are hosting what are now, because it's a quantum route redirect, they're just calling them QRR phishing pages to let you know that these are the full service automated ones. And you just literally pay, and it will filter between bots and humans, as I said before. It is literally a full service platform with dashboard, of course, for any idiot with a couple of bucks who wants to phish someone. It is ridiculous, nasty. It's been going after, guess what? Microsoft 365 accounts. Of course it is. Vast majority in the US, but you're not the only ones that are getting it.
Have you noticed that if you're doing a DNS search on some of these phishing sites, tell me where their physical location is at, and I'll laugh because I know you know. You've never done a reverse search on DNS for a lot of these phishing things?
No, I've been busy yelling at Microsoft.
Oh, okay. Well, there is a shared office space in Reykjavik, Iceland, that like 95% of these things are all using as their physical address for these DNS entries for a lot of these, phishing websites. Yeah, apparently the the laws there in Iceland are rather lax when it comes to this kind of stuff. But yeah, we've had like 100 domains that we have traced. It's like, where's this from? Oh, it's on that street in Reykjavik, Iceland. It's the shared office space that people send their mail to. So anyway,
that's okay. They've got different Bitcoin addresses, so
yeah,
they'll get your money effectively. It won't be stuck, and Bjork won't get her hands on it.
You know what? I maybe I should just quit IT, live as a pauper, and review force feedback hardware, and just live on my $250 a month somehow.
Review vintage hardware is what I was trying to say. Only like at great expense to yourself on eBay at inflated vintage hardware prices. Buy things like the Wingman force feedback joystick. Unbox them, review them.
Yes.
Discover that stuff is
the
leaked
joy
inside of it and it doesn't work properly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so ends Insecurity Corner, the sad solo edition. But now we get to talk about something really exciting. The return of the Steam machine as we begin with gaming quick hits. Yes, we've buried the lead. Your games on the big screen. Stop us if you've heard this before. Stop us if in the Windows 8 era, when people were really frustrated with Microsoft, Gabe stepped in and introduced SteamOS. And there were all these Steam boxes from partners. And now Valve has their own Steam machine. Building on the success of the Steam Deck, the enhanced compatibility with popular games, your Steam library, your favorite AAA titles in a little box that plugs into your television. It's cool. It's quiet. It's a very small form factor. It's about a 6-inch cube. It has, let's read the specs if I scroll past all the marketing stuff here.
It's custom AMD silicon.
Yeah. Semi-custom Zen 4. It's 6-core 12-thread, up to 4.8 gigahertz, 30-watt TDP. So we're talking kind of laptop constraints here because it's small form factor. Semi-custom RDNA 3 GPU. It's 28 CUs, 2.45
110
gigahertz.
watts is not mobile.
No,
it's 140 watt. Yeah, it's a 140 watt thing. But they focused on graphics, which, as it should be,
pretty fast. It's Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3. It's got an integrated Steam controller wireless adapter. Decent display support. I mean, it's DisplayPort 1.4, HDMI 2.0. This is meant to just connect to your typical living room
4K TV.
Yeah.
So the only problem that I see, memory. I mean, it is running essentially Linux, right?
Yeah.
It's 16 gigs of system memory and 8 gigs of video RAM.
Yeah.
What do we say for 8 gigs of video RAM?
I know.
Not today.
I saw someone I think was tweeting about this, and they said this is obviously going to be leaning very heavily into scaling. You have to render at a much lower resolution for some of these titles.
Yep, it is. But that's okay, because who knows how much it costs. But it's kind of a fun piece of hardware to look at, and it's not just a console, but it's actually a PC. You can do PC things with it easily, and it's got the beef to do PC things.
That's true. And it doesn't run Windows. That is perhaps the most important part of all. We're once again, people are going to be introduced to this weird concept of, hey, you can own hardware and decide what software to run on it. You don't just have to be a slave to Microsoft. Even if you build a $4,000 gaming PC, you don't have to put Windows 11 on it. Same goes for this little box, however much it costs. I can't imagine it'll be super expensive, but who knows? I mean, the cost of every component in it is probably more expensive than it was just a few months ago. There's storage and memory to be amortized over the course of this product. But this is SteamOS. optimized for gaming, but as they're saying, and as Josh saying, this is also a PC. There's a lot of other stuff you can do with the Linux box.
And you can also use the new Steam controller, which is essentially a Steam Deck that they ripped the screen out of and then glued the controllers together.
This is Arch-based, and it runs the KDE Plasma desktop by default. If that means anything to you. KDE is fine. I feel like that's it's a Windows user-friendly
It's got an LED strip as well on the front of the case.
It does, which is always
pretty.
Yeah. And if you look, Arch is the largest used distro on Steam to this point.
Is that because of the Steam Deck, though?
I have a feeling it's because of the Steam Deck and the fact that Valve knows what to do with this, so they're going to stick with it.
Yeah.
And there's some sort of VR headset, too, that I did not look at. I probably should, but...
The specs look pretty good. 4K, 21 by 2100 by 2100, and did some interesting things with foveated vision, and it's got a beefy ARM-based Snapdragon processor in there, 16 gigs of RAM. And the unfortunate thing is that you can connect it to your PC via wireless. So there's no CMI or DisplayPort support in the VR headset, which, you know, if you're a racing guy like I may be, it's not great. It's not great, Bob.
And an average of one Technicolor yawn an hour. So,
but we don't know how much it costs either. They have not released.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
no prices on any of this.
So a lot of the stuff with the engineering with the VR goggles, it's not quite up at the Apple level, but it's not that far away. It's got the external cameras, it's got the internal cameras. You can do gaming on it. Where does it compete with? You know, the Apple stuff at the high end, or the Oculus 3, or the other ones that Meta has put out. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Moving on from Game Rant, November 18 will be the end of an era for Halo. I hear it's moving to Unreal Engine 5. Is that right?
Wow, repetitive corridors and new higher textures.
2002 was a long time away.
Yeah,
it was 23 years ago, where the original Xbox and Halo was amazing because they, you know, had some original kind of normal mapping and interesting lighting and split screen co-op with Halo, and it looked really good. It was a long time ago. Did either of you guys play Halo Infinite? Infinity?
Nope.
Infinite.
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. Weird.
So Operation Infinite will be the last major content update for the game, according to some November community live stream they held. Operation Infinite is a last hurrah for Halo Infinite. So
I thought they'd hurrahed their last hurrah quite some time ago, but
yeah. Well,
what do I know?
By the way, if you go to PC Perspective on YouTube, you will see a video about a Sapphire Nitro Plus product that is not a graphics card. As I say in the review, they have products. They have the Nitro, they have the Pulse, they have the Pure. Now they have a Nitro Plus motherboard. And they're no stranger to motherboards. They made them in the past. We talked about them in the past. They even made Intel boards like X79 of all things. And they've had
crazy
stuff.
Talk.
I know. In the AM5 era, they've had boards. Whether you,
I miss their AMD 3200R or ATI 3200, the white and red boards way back in the day.
They were pretty back in the day.
So it's B850 chipset. They have a couple variants of it. They have micro ATX. They have full ATX. The only way to get the Wi-Fi 7, which this one features, is to get the full ATX version. The micro ATX does not have Wi-Fi 7, but otherwise pretty much identical specs between the two. This is a low-cost board, too. This is $189. The power, I thought, was fine. 12 plus 2 plus 1, 55 amps per phase, and most people are probably going to be getting some sort of X3D, and those are lower power draw anyway, like 120 watts max. has good memory overclocking support. And the BIOS, the Sapphire Core BIOS, is excellent. I have some footage in the video review. If you watch to the end, the impressions and things, I have some B-roll of what the BIOS setup looks like. And it's really simplistic in a good way. It's nothing more than you need. It's easy to find everything.
Hey, I really like the natural lighting of your videos. It looks sharp, especially the soft blonde wood that you're featuring in there. Really adds to the warmness of the scene. And then you also interesting the golden sunlight coming through the green leaves, the bokeh, and that is it's really outstanding. You should really consider a profession in content creation.
It was a long walk, but
I overexposed this shot a little bit, but I did like the way the sunlight looked through the leaves of that fern that sits by the window. And, various product shots talking about the I/O. One of the drawbacks of this, only 10 gigabit per second USB support. There's no Gen 2x2. There's no USB 4, anything like that. You're not going to get that from this platform. You are going to get, solid. I was only able to test Wi-Fi 6 and only, sadly, just 1 gigabit.
Is it a 2.5?
Yeah, but I wasn't able to test that. I need to buy some switches. I need to buy.
They're inexpensive. There's a group called Nick.
Okay. As some other people have said, I think it was Patrick Norton who said, network testing is pain. And I said, come on, no, it's not. And then I did my first review. I did an wireless card review, and it is pain because trying to control things when you don't have controlled environment, it sucks.
Here's the thing. I remember the first D-Link sent me, and I know this is getting off topic, sent me a big wireless networking thing, some of the fastest that. I put it in the back. I went to my living room, started getting some numbers. They're pretty good. My wife walks by, and suddenly everything dropped. It just hit into tens of kilobytes per second. It's like, what the hell happened? And it's just networking wireless is awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
You can't have other people around. And neighbors. Well,
generally that's good advice, but
yeah. And suddenly testing, goes to hell because suddenly you live in a block with an apartment complex and 20 people have wireless stuff all around you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want an important
it runs
E18
this fast
growler.
At 2 in the afternoon and this fast at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
By the way, look at this CMOS setup.
Ooh.
It's so clean and simple. It reminds me of the type of interface we had with the Intel NUC Extreme units, where you just had a few screens with some drop downs. Everything was clearly labeled, just like this. You want to turn something off? It's right there. You don't have to go through 4 sub menus and find something in a weird category that doesn't even make sense. It's all right here. It was easy to set up fan profiles and overclock the memory and memory timings, all that stuff. It's very polished. My only concern about the BIOS was the fact that there just isn't there hasn't been a single BIOS update since this board was released. The BIOS revision on their website is still from September 1st. And we've had new microcode since then. And so that's my only concern about buying from Sapphire is that are you going to get the same kind of update cadence that you would have from one of the big 4? I don't know.
No.
But when you actually use this board, and here's some more B-roll on the Lazy Susan on the coffee table. If you actually use this system like I have been for the last 2 months, I have never had a system lockup. I have never had a blue screen. I've never had any issue with this. And we've been using this as the primary living room gaming PC for a while. And that kind of reliability I have not had from some of the big 4 lately. I'm not going to name names, Gigabyte, but I've had issues with stability on boards, my son's computer build has had all sorts of problems. And so it was a very pleasant change. Just build a system, install Windows, and then that was it. So maybe the fast update cadence isn't the best, because this is a rock solid BIOS that's on it. And a very interesting product. This is the most expensive board that Sapphire sells, and it's $189. The Micro ATX is, I think, $20 or $30 less, and then it goes down from there. So very affordable, but again, not, you can see it right here, not the high speed connectivity. All of the USB is limited to 10 gigabit per second. Even from the front panel header. There's no 20 gigabit or no 40 anywhere on this board, sadly. So check out the full video.
Mouse.
It's a little over 8.5 minutes long of me just talking like a podcast segment. There's no music. I didn't try to turn it into some glitzy, production. It's just 8.5 minutes talking about a motherboard and showing pictures of it, and
it's like
the website.
You're George Strait in pure country, and you got rid of all the distractions, and it's just you sitting on the stage in Vegas with your guitar.
And it's not AI generated country like the current number one country song in America. Yeah. It's real.
Yeah,
I'm speaking from the heart.
You are
in this one.
There's an R&B
blue
as
jeans
well.
and an old pickup truck, and she's gone.
This dead dog in the back of your Winnebago, and the septic tank is full. And
whoa, Sebastian's more like Chris Gaines. That's rude, because wasn't Chris Gaines the rock and roll alter ego of Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks, yes, it was.
Okay,
except he had a little kind of crazy goatee thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Josh, I don't even see a pick for you. What is going on?
Oh, geez.
Do you have a pick of the week?
No. Hell. I mean, because, you know what? SSDs are overpriced, right?
Okay. Good.
Memory prices are overpriced. Sim rigs, I've covered ad nauseum. Spinning Rust is going up in price. So, I can't talk about like buying stuff for a NAS. What is there? I mean, maybe you can get one of the retro Logitech immersion tech haptic force feedback mice. Because I did find that if you want to look in the PCPer staff and go to that, we can talk about it shortly.
Yes,
go look for it.
I'll cut to that here. Hold on.
Yes, cut to it.
Link. Slowly. Okay, here we go. All right.
Here we go.
It'll be a seamless edit. Hold on. Let me close this thing.
Scroll down. Geese on.
Keep going.
Not that one. Not that one.
You'll know it when you see it.
There. Yeah. Oh, the Wingman. No. Click on the Wingman force feedback mouse. Now, if you notice, this is not a wireless mouse on the left. No. It's because the power comes from a big post in the middle of that mouse. You only had about 3 inches total of wiggle room on moving a mouse, but it was haptic feedback by Immersion Corporation. Immersion is still around, and they're licensing out feedback for things. But yeah, I remember thinking, I think I went to, wasn't CES, wasn't Comdex, it was, it was one of them held in Santa Clara or San Jose. But anyway, it was Logitech had set that up, and I tried it, and it felt pretty cool. You can kind of lift it up and move it so you can get more than just 3 inches of play on your mouse. But go find one of those. It's probably worth a pretty penny, because I don't think many of them were sold.
I remember having an old Wingman joystick with the haptic, which was always entertaining when you rebooted a system because it needed power to maintain itself erect. So when it lost power, it'd droop off to one side. And at some point during the boot process, it would get the power back and you would just get this boing. And if it was something in the way, it was a thunk. Oh,
sometimes part of your
speaker,
body
oops,
would be in the way.
Yes, often you're reaching around to try and find something and you get it right in the funny bone. It was entertaining. And then it died when I had to get a different one.
Like all things.
Do you have a pick, Jeremy, or just another trip down memory lane?
I mean, I don't want to have a pick anymore because Josh got away with it. So maybe I'll just replace these with like felt pads or rubber nubbins or something.
Nubbins.
I did buy some felt pads recently. They were very nice.
Hey, when's the last time I skipped out on pick of a week? Huh? Ever?
I can't remember.
Ever? Would be so mad at you.
Not since I took over.
I'm sure she watches every week.
Hosting. Never. Josh always has a pick.
No, I picked meh. But it's a decent start to a brand new system if you're up here in Canada. The second highest selling.
Does it come bundled with memory?
Well, no. Are you mad? Are you crazy? But no. 9800 X3D, a B850, and an MSI Mag Core Liquid E3600 all-in-one cooler for just under $1,000, which is about $130 some savings. Not amazing, but if you're building something new, not bad at all to start with. And once you've got those, you can save up 4 or 5 months worth of paychecks to buy a stick of RAM and another 4 or 5 months to get that second stick. Other than that, you should be able to transplant other stuff. I looked for a memory deal. There weren't any. Odd.
Thank you, Jeremy. I didn't hear any of that because I was on the other side of the basement grabbing something for my pick of the week. Inspired by Josh. And of course, I have to hand a variety of useless things from days gone by. Not useless if you care about connecting peripherals to old PCs that can actually make use of them. But I have here the Logitech Wingman Force. It's the stick that pushes back.
Yep, it sure is.
And this one I bought complete in box, possibly new open box. I don't remember now. And at some point, I will record the unboxing process and try to get it working and play some vintage game that can make use of a serial port. Actually, no, this one might be USB.
Should be USB.
It looks...
It's going to be game port. Totally.
Let's see. It looks like it's all there.
Wow. That's some impressive packaging.
Back in the day, I had one of these, but I had bought it used. And the sad thing about buying gaming stuff back in those days, I don't know if anything's changed, is that you would get a joystick or a racing wheel. And I think at least 50% of the time it came from a smoker's house. And then it would have a particular kind of feel to it and a particular kind of a smell in the plastic,
if you will,
that I could not get off no matter what I tried.
No.
So I just dealt with it. I like the smell of tobacco smoke. I just don't like the smell that it leaves behind on plastic. I don't know why. It just smells kind of skunky to me. Maybe it wasn't tobacco.
Maybe.
But yeah, the seal is broken. I will have to discover whether it works or not. But that, I mean, it's been kind of a weird show, but I think we're going to call it. I think that was the end of the PC Perspective podcast for this week. I want to thank you for listening, watching. Just 3 people in rectangular boxes. Not even centered on the screen. I think we're...
Did you know what 3 people used to be like, Jeremy? It was Ryan, you, and me.
Yep.
And before that,
sometimes Lee would come in now and then. But then after I came on, he stopped.
Maybe you two had some differences that he just couldn't.
No, I just have rarely ever talked to the guy. So anyway, I think he just wanted to retire. He was done.
Well, he was retired, and Ryan had convinced him to keep on because he had the insane PSU testing machine. And but he was getting tired and just didn't want to
do it anymore. And that was 2008.
Plus, the power supply review game is a weirdly political one. There's all these firmly entrenched people on one side or another, and which OEM is better, and are you really testing, or are you just being paid by Corsair to say that, and all this other nonsense. Like,
what do you want?
It's.
I would be curious what he would think about the current high power 12 volt stuff.
Oh, he would. He would have an opinion.
Oh yeah. You know that stuff we used to use 3 8-pins for on those really high powered cards?
Yeah.
Let's take it all the way down to one that's smaller than a single 8-pin and with thinner wires.
Yeah. And a questionable connector.
Yeah, that's made out of plastic instead of metal. At least the clip could have been metal. I mean, come on. Maybe that would have conducted too much heat.
It
would have conducted heat and it would have arced. Yeah, that would be
maybe
bad.
If they made the clip out of magnesium.
Ooh. Oh. Take a page out of Lenovo's book. They made some beautiful magnesium cases for ThinkPads back in the day.
True.
All right, well, that's it. The show's over. Thank you.